Hello, my loved ones, and welcome back to Any Percent, the only podcast that runs on the base PS4. My name is Evan Sampson, and I am joined by these two handsome fellows. Why don't you introduce yourselves? I don't care who goes first.
I'm going to go first.
And my name's Casper.
Welcome, gentlemen. It's good to see you guys. 2 weeks is too long to go without seeing your faces.
How you guys been?
Not bad, man. Playing them video games, playing Firewatch, which is our game this week.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk,
Oh boy, can't wait to talk about that.
which we will talk about.
Did you guys try the new Smash Fighter? Did you guys try Sephiroth?
Oh, I didn't even know it came out. I watched the reveal, but I didn't know it came out.
Yeah,
I didn't know it came out either.
he's not out yet. So okay, how about this is our first news story. He's not out yet, but if you beat him in a boss fight, you get him early.
Wait. Oh, that's
really?
actually kind of cool.
I think tomorrow or something. He comes out like anyway, but if you beat him in the boss fight, you got him early.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
He's so
Is
sexy.
it like part of the story mode or
No,
like
it's just a separate little thing, like a one-off event mode.
Okay.
Yeah. Shirtless Sephiroth. I saw the pics.
God. Yeah. I saw like the Squidward meme, like, oh no, he's hot.
Like Evan said, our game this week is Firewatch. You probably saw it from the title and the thumbnail. But before we jump into it, we got a lot of we don't have a lot of news. We got a little bit of news. Besides Sephiroth coming to Smash. I guess we can just do really quick, like, what you guys thought. So the Game Awards happened I guess when this is being posted, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. And change, probably.
That's how time
Merry
works,
Christmas,
yeah.
everybody.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas episode. Hopefully you guys open up your PS5s and your Xbox Series X's.
What about the Series S's? Nobody gets those for Christmas.
Nobody wants those. Oh yeah, so what do you guys think of the Game Awards overall?
I think overall they were like kind of underwhelming. Like I don't know. We streamed it. We had a ton of technical difficulties.
Fucking
that was
Kody.
A fire truck, dude. That was bad.
Yeah. I think you can still catch what we have on Twitch though.
Yeah, I could.
Right.
We could post it. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. That's an after the cast talk, like about Casper's ointments and stuff. It's all for after the cast. So yeah, I don't know. It was pretty underwhelming. Like I was really gunning or hoping for Elden Ring. No Elden Ring news.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Sephiroth was the most hype thing that happened. I mean,
I agree.
I guess Back 4 Blood. I'm excited for Back 4 Blood, which is the Left 4 Dead spiritual successor by Turtle Rock, and they are like OG Left 4 Dead devs, so making another Left 4 Dead game. So I'm into it.
I mean, if Valve's not going to do it, might as well. You know what I mean? So
I thought there would be a Valve game being announced because they keep on saying that they're like hiring people, but there's nothing.
Yeah. Well, now that they're done with Half-Life Alyx and they've like absorbed CampoSanto, which is the people who made the game we're talking about today.
Wow, very topical.
Like,
maybe they'll do.
What are those people doing?
Yeah. Right. I think so. One of the bigger announcements was hearing what Xbox Studios, the initiative, what they're working on. I think it was rumored that it was Perfect Dark. But so Evan last week, when we recorded the Game Awards, he read off a quote or whatever, and it was like someone called the initiative a quadruple A.
Yeah.
Right, because they've been poaching just from all over. They've been picking up the best talent to work on it. But I don't have like a history with Perfect Dark, so I don't really.
Yeah, me neither. So we'll see. I don't know. The other remakes they did, like the Xbox 360 one, I think was not like super well regarded. So
that's what So
the series is kind of in a rut, I think, or I would think.
Yeah.
So.
And if they're bringing it back, maybe they have like such a great idea on what to do with it that deserves being brought back. But it's.
I gotta say though, like the story first-person shooter is like totally driven and like the standard is set by Doom at this point for like what those can be, and I think how they should be done. Whereas like that's from a time where that the series is so much older, and
right.
I don't know. I'm really excited to see how they attempt to modernize that kind of linear first-person shooter experience that was Perfect Dark, and maybe they do it by making it an open-world game, or I don't know, but it can't be. Unlike Doom, I don't think it can be too close to the source material, whereas Doom is like very much feels like a modernization of OG Doom, like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. So I don't know. First person shooters, single player games are like just not really a thing though. So should be interesting.
So yeah, Casper, what do you think overall of the Game Awards?
The most surprising thing was the whole Vin Diesel Arc 2.
Oh, dude, that just I totally forgot about that. That just like
I forgot too. I did not think that was gonna be Arc. I was like, it's Arc, and then it was.
I read something. Yeah. I have no idea if this is true, but he's like not even in the game. It was just for the trailer.
Oh,
I don't doubt that.
I mean, they're doing the cartoon. I wonder if he's just like in the cartoon or something.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Because like the game, I don't know if you guys have played Arc, but it's like. You make your own character. It's like there's no dialogue or anything, right? So it's like.
Well, that's what my thought based on that trailer was like. Oh, are they gonna like try to inject story into the gameplay?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very strange.
Very strange.
Vin Diesel. Who do you guys think will be the next celebrity in a video game? You got Keanu. You got Vin Diesel, I guess.
Yeah.
Tom
I wouldn't
Holland.
be surprised if they pulled an actual actress to do Joanna Dark's like facial capture for Perfect Dark, since if they're going quadruple A, if they're gonna like change games, like they're gonna get like Scarlett Jo, my guy.
Dude, love Scarlett Johansson.
Can't go wrong with Scarlett Jo.
Wow. So yeah, I guess just our thoughts just for it's very underwhelmed, I guess, which kind of stinks because
historically I've had way more fun than I had that night.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be because we were also trying to set everything up,
Maybe
like we're
maybe it's COVID too. I don't know.
Right.
Like maybe just games aren't ready to even show yet because they're not even COVID kind of delayed everything sort of, but
could be.
Yeah. So that's our first little. Well, I guess we talked about Sephiroth, but that was also Game Awards. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about, man, have you guys seen all this controversy with Cyberpunk?
No. What are you talking about?
It's crazy. Oh, dude. It is like, it's all over the interwebs. Everyone just complaining.
I found a subreddit called Low Sodium Cyberpunk. That was just the Cyberpunk subreddit, but you're not allowed to complain about the game.
Oh, nice.
And it's a bunch of people like weeping, oh my god, it's the most beautiful game ever made. Nobody understands.
Wow.
I've seen some crazy on the actual Cyberpunk thread, like you're talking about, the subreddit. It's just people like, yo, I broke up with my girlfriend because I wanted more time to play with this game, and now the game stinks, and now I have no girlfriend. It's like, okay, yeah.
This is why we respect women. This is Any% is the only podcast where we respect women.
Respects women.
Which is only half a joke, honestly. I feel like podcast dudes are kind of, I don't know. Anyway.
So I guess it first started, right? So before the game came out, they hadn't shown any footage on previous gen. So previous gen is in PS4 and Xbox One, right? And everybody's like,
I feel like we still don't call that previous gen. That's still like current gen, and the new stuff's still next gen.
Okay. When do you draw that line, though, you know?
Like 6 months from now.
Okay, that's fair.
But anyway, I'm just being semantic.
Put a stamp on it.
Asshole. So
current gen is PS4. So they didn't release any footage or give preview copies to reviewers for the current gen.
So PS4 and Xbox One.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that's a little fishy." And then
that's really weird.
Yeah, isn't that weird? So then when the game came out, it's terrible on PS4 and Xbox One. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like 720. It just looks awful.
I've seen a little bit.
Choppy.
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
Actually, Any%, we called it. I said that I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be released on PS4, Xbox One, but it's also having problems on everything, right? It's crashing on PS5. It looks better, but it still crashes. PCs, it's not optimized for like any PCs really. It's a whole mess, and because of it, so I have here Daniel Ahmad. He's an industry vet. He's got a lot of inside information.
He's just a Twitter guy, right? Like, I don't know. I know him from
Twitter guy. Yeah, he leaks a bunch of stuff. He's mostly in with the like business analytic, like behind the scenes sort of stuff.
Right.
So CD Projekt Red, they put out a statement saying, "Yo, we're refunding the game. If you're not happy with it, you can refund it. You'll get the refund, no problem." But then PlayStation was like, "No, we're not doing that yet." And then they got a ton of backlash, and then they delisted the game.
Jinkies.
And that was just like, that's totally unprecedented, because I don't think that's ever like, I remember back in the day for like PS3, they'd be putting, I don't know if you guys know, like The Life of Black Tiger. You guys familiar with that game?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry.
It's just like a piece of shit, like shovelware, where you play as like a tiger, and the game doesn't even work.
Sounds
like
awesome.
You can't even like boot up the game, but it was on PlayStation forever.
Yeah.
You would buy it and you wouldn't be able to play the game.
Yeah.
Right.
So this, like, even that game stays up, but this PlayStation got so much backlash that they were forced to, they're like, you know what, we're just going to delist the game. It'll be on later at some point once CD Projekt Red patches it and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. I feel like that just never happens. Like, usually the developer might like take their own game down, or like, like with like the only thing I can think of like being delisted from the PlayStation Store. I mean, I'm sure this happens, but like the Scott Pilgrim game was delisted
because of trademark copyright.
Yeah. IP
for sure.
stuff. So it does happen, but like it is weird to have Sony be like, fuck, like double middle finger. Like if you're gonna, it's a totally reaction to CD Projekt Red. I think that's how you pronounce it. In like, I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't try. It's like when a guy goes to a restaurant, it's like, I'll have a burrito, or like whatever. Like tries to do an accent, and it's like, dude, just say burrito. Like,
yeah, right.
Anyway, I can't imagine they consulted with the retailers about this, because most of the retailers too were like, whoa, they seem blindsided by it. So yeah. I don't know. So Sony's like, fuck you for doing that. Take the game down. It's crazy.
I'm surprised that it even got through so many people to like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
Just like because it doesn't work. It seems like on the older or present, those ones, whatever generation.
Current.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think like if something like this happened with, so PS3 going into PS4, there were some cross-gen games, right? Mm-hmm. But I think maybe Assassin's Creed Unity was around that time, but I don't think it worked on like either console.
I think Black Flag was cross-gen.
Yeah.
There
have been better cross-gen experiences than this.
Yeah. I can't like, what are some standout like game launches that have just like totally burnt to the ground? Like No Man's Sky comes to mind.
I was going to say No Man's Sky.
A lot of that.
Yeah. No Man's Sky is actually trending now because of all of this.
Right.
Oh, right. Because
I saw that was like top on Steam maybe, or maybe top on the PlayStation Network for like sales. I was like, what? That game is like,
it's kind of crazy.
4 years old. Why is it selling so well?
Right. They totally made a comeback, and I don't know if
I love during the Game Awards, Sean Murray, when they won best ongoing game, and they cut to Sean Murray and he's like drinking a Corona.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I thought it would go to Fortnite. Like
he's like, it's always Fortnite.
Right. So another development came out like 2 days ago or whatever. CD Projekt Red, they said if like you're trying to return it to like Target and stuff, and they're not giving you the refund back, CD Projekt Red will cover it. So it's getting like even crazier, where it's like brick and mortar stores they're trying to do right by people. And
this game, it was in development before 2014.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I remember the
I was-
trailer from when I was in high school.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school, so 8 years ago.
So they were working on this like right as the PlayStation 4 and that generation came out.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it should have worked.
I know,
for
right?
everyone, you know?
It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you see that with some games, right? And just pieces of software in general, right? Like feature creep, right, Evan? So
Right.
you just keep like adding to it, and it just gets so like bloated, and it's like, what the hell is even happening?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's definitely this. Like they probably did start out like targeting PlayStation 4, Xbox One compatibility, and then
Yeah.
they always wanted to be on the edge, right? Like I
Right.
think it was a big thing at one point that they were gonna have like ray tracing in this game. I think
Right.
maybe I'm making that up, but
No, yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, and so I think they always wanted to be pushing the envelope, and eventually it meant leaving behind the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. But they had made these promises that it would be available on said consoles, which is the stupidest
Yeah.
thing. They should have just they should have just canceled those versions because
Yeah.
Because
they don't.
I was
fucking
looking
work.
up. Yeah, I was looking up. Like it makes sense from a business point of view, right? Because you have 100 plus million PS4s out in
Right.
the wild, right? So it's like you can get a lot of sales on those, right? So it makes sense business wise. But I think I saw that like I was trying to look up like when Cyberpunk 2077 was available for pre-order, and I thought in my head I was like, oh, it must have been like 3 years ago, right? Isn't that what usually happens? Like, oh, you can pre-order Elden Ring now, but you know nothing about the game.
Right.
But it actually went available for pre-order like last fall.
Right.
So in my mind, they should have known the state of the game last year on PS4 and Xbox One, right?
Right. I would think so.
So it's kind of crazy to me that this has been kept under wraps, I guess, and it's just
It was just it's really bad business decisions, right? Like they thought.
yeah.
I do wonder if they overestimated the install base for the base PS4 versus like the Pro, because it actually runs pretty good on the Pro. It's the base PS4
That's what I've heard.
that it's dog shit, and like the base
Yeah.
Xbox One,
Okay.
and it's like maybe they thought more people had done that mid-generation upgrade, but I think the numbers are that like most of the install base is still on the OG like PS4, Xbox
Yeah.
One. So
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I still have my old PS4. I never upgraded.
Yeah, I have the launch PS4 still, and the things I can't
gamers.
imagine playing Cyberpunk on that, man. That'd be Jesus. Like the fan spins up so loud when you're playing. Like when you're watching Netflix, dude. I can't.
I can't hear the
imagine
Great
it.
British Baking Show. God damn it!
But I think that, and I'm sure you guys agree, and it seems like the rest of the internet agrees too, where it's like, this is a problem with like the higher ups, right? Like the people who make the business decisions. Because like I feel so bad for the devs, you know, they're so pumped up to release the game, and they just get kicked, you know, the legs kicked right underneath them. So
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do a whole podcast like reading the Jason Schreier like hit pieces. I don't want to actually not hit pieces because that's like a very negative connotation, but like he's done like these pieces about how absolutely miserable the development process was for Cyberpunk. So yeah, I feel really bad for these guys that they committed themselves to like this horribly unhealthy lifestyle in the hopes that it would pay off, and now it's not paying off.
Yep.
You know, which it sucks. That's the problem with crunch in general, is like maybe it'll pay off. There's a pretty good chance it won't.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Let's do a crunch podcast. Talk about how much we think crunch is a bad thing. In
We
the
could
games
do like
industry.
special one-off episodes like that, and just focus in on like specific topics. But
Anyway,
yeah, it's just the story's developing, and it's crazy. So like here we see Daniel Ahmad posted just like as soon as, you know, Cyberpunk comes out, you just see CD Projekt Red stock just drop.
yeah, I saw that. I saw
And-
their stock just tanked, dude.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's bad.
it's just
I didn't even think about it. So since it's off the PlayStation Store, that means it got taken off like right before Christmas, right? So like everyone's gonna get their PlayStation Store card.
Yeah,
gift
and they
cards
won't be able to
stuff.
buy
and
it.
they try to buy it, and there's like,
Yeah.
'cause it's crazy too, because it's taken off of, like, if you try to go on your PS5 and buy it, even though it's the PS4 copy that you can backwards compatible, but it runs well
Right. You still
better
can't
on
get
the
it.
PS5. Still can't get it, right? So that's just.
I was thinking about returning mine, but like then I was like, man, is this gonna be like a weird collectible thing because everybody's returning theirs, and I'll be like, and then they're gonna bury them. They're gonna ET it, and they're gonna bury them in a desert in Arizona, and I'm gonna have a copy.
So Evan, did you bought it on PS4 or PS like the PS4?
Yeah, I bought the
PS5?
PS4 version. I pre-ordered it like 6 months ago. Because there was like some kind of deal at Best Buy. So I pre-ordered it, and then I wanted the physical edition because an artist I like did the steelbook for Best Buy. I think his Instagram handle is Deathburger, and he does this cool like cyberpunk style.
That's sick. Yeah.
Of like, it's really look his stuff up sometime. It's really cool line work, really cool colors, like kind of like an American comic book meets like Yoshitaka Amano. Is that his name? The guy that does the Final Fantasy stuff. It's cool.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Like the logos.
That's cool.
Anyway, so I wanted. That's why I wanted the physical
it?
version. But now I'm like not playing it because. I mean, I guess I could, if you want, I can jump into why I think I don't like it as much on console, even though it runs well.
Yeah, we can. Why don't you go ahead?
So I think the main thing for me that kind of bums me out, other than like the game does like still crash sometimes on the PS5. I literally played 2.5 hours and it crashed, and then I was like, fuck this. But if you look at footage on the PC, the NPC density is way higher. There's people walking around all over the place in Night City, and it comes alive. And then you play the PS5 or PS4 version. Dude, there's nobody around. It's a goddamn ghost town. It sucks. It's just like if the whole thing I'm going for, if they're selling me on Night City as this like immersive world, right? Like, I need the people. I would have taken it running on at 720p on my PS5 if it meant I could have all the NPCs I wanted walking around. You know. Bringing the world to life.
So I have it on PC, right?
Right.
I built a PC like a month ago, so it's got a 3070. So like I know my experience is not what everyone else is gonna have, and that kind of bums me out because there is something here. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, right? Mm-hmm. But like you're saying, so like you just get lost in the world, you know?
Right.
Like, the characters, the side missions are great. There is a lot of glitches. Like I saw one dude who was like, he was supposed to be smoking a cigarette, but he had like an AK-47, and he was like, and that was like, so like it's like a lot of small bugs, but like I haven't run into any crashes, and like that's great because you just read everyone's crashing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's like. The experience I'm having, this is not what everyone else is having, right? Like some little Timmy is trying to boot it up on his PS4 Christmas Day, and it's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's...
Well, you got like the computer that it was built for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but even Ed, friend of the show, Ed, he has it on... He just built a computer too, but it's an AMD-based computer, and it's like not optimized at all for AMD computers. So he can't even play the game. It just like doesn't even work. So...
Just out of curiosity, Kody, did you download the I know they did a pre-release of the drivers for the game before the game came out. Did you make sure to upgrade those drivers before the game came out?
I did. Yeah, I did.
I saw some weird stuff on Twitter that people were having graphical issues, but the game ran at a steady frame rate, and then they hit those game ready drivers from NVIDIA, and when they upgraded them, it made it worse. The game really? Lost some of the graphical glitches, but then ran at a way worse frame rate. I don't know. It's probably isolated incidents, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
I don't know. The whole story, the whole situation around this game is just, it's crazy.
It's crazy seeing people defend it so much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. Right. Yeah.
Anybody who thinks that they made the right choice by selling it on the PS4 has brain damage.
Yeah, actually.
People will say stuff like Skyrim was buggy and you love it.
Yeah, it's like
right. It's not the same.
Guess.
And even if it is buggy, a game shouldn't be buggy when it comes out.
Yeah,
you people should be able to run it fine.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Because I have seen that a lot too. Like, oh, Skyrim, you love it and it's got all these bugs, and it's like, it's weird too because this game came from CD Projekt Red, but if you look at their track record, right, like I was talking about this with Casper off stream, and it's like they've only like what's like the big game, right? It's just Witcher 3, right? Because like Witcher 1 and 2, they're well regarded, but they're more niche. Witcher 3 was like their big
I only had one friend
game.
in high school that played Witcher 2.
Yeah, right. Because those weren't on consoles, right? It was just PC.
No, they were on at least
Witcher
2 was
2.
on 360. That's what he played it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 was on PC and then 2 was on 360.
Okay, yeah. So it's just like everyone was like, "Oh, this game's gonna be," but it's weird too because when you look at Witcher 3, it doesn't have any bugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they're known for their polish, but then they have a game like this where it just, I don't know. I guess it's.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I also read though, like I didn't play The Witcher 3 at launch. I played it like a couple months after it had come out, and had become very well regarded all in its own right. And then I was like, oh, I'll have to check this out. Like I saw some people saying that Witcher 3 was kind of a not so great launch. I mean, I should have pulled some.
I remember that.
That's because you expect the game to get better over time with patches and stuff. It just stinks that they're, like if you're on PS4 or Xbox One, you're just screwed. Like you can't even play the game until a couple patches, right?
Yeah,
so
that's not even bugs. It's just not. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Like dude, like a game that crashes every 2 hours, like that's, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people like who defend it, it's like they're on some cognitive dissonance to the max. Like their brains are not functioning. That
and it's just
it doesn't even the Skyrim comparison, dude. Like Skyrim at least like ran and
it didn't crash.
It didn't just crash. And it also didn't present these like insanely disparate like experiences, but from like thing to thing. Like sure, it ran better on PCs at the time of release, I'm sure, compared to like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, but like not the difference between Cyberpunk on base PS4 and Cyberpunk on Kody's 3070 graphics card.
Oh, it runs perfect on my $10,000 PC. Just get a new PC, and it's like, yeah, but they're selling it for PS4, right?
Yeah, no,
so
they
like,
don't
it has
sell
to
it
run on PS4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I think that was pretty much like very surface level of the whole controversy. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see how it.
Another thing I'll see on like Twitter or like a news article would be like PSA. Doing this will corrupt Cyberpunk save.
Oh yeah, I saw it was like if you have more than an 8 megabyte save.
So
something weird.
So the thing about that, right? Your save files will be small by default, right? Like most games are.
Yeah.
But if you craft a lot, specifically in Cyberpunk 2077, if you craft, for some reason, like the more you craft, it makes sense that the game size would be bigger, right? But I guess like there's something weird with like the compression. Like if you craft a ton, your game size just balloons. So and then if it gets past 8 megabytes, your game file just gets corrupted and you can't play the game.
Yeah. It's terrible. Terrible stuff.
It's like, so because crafting's in the game, wouldn't you want people to craft if it's in the game?
It's one of those things though, like how did they miss that? Is it happening to everybody who has these big save files?
It's like a thing. Like your game files like will corrupt.
Yeah, I cannot believe they missed that.
Yeah, and I will say so Evan, you've only played like what 2 or 3 hours?
No, like 2 hours. Like I got to.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even like finish the first mission. I was just like running around looking at stuff like.
And then it just crashed.
I went on I did the corpo start and I like sat down at my computer before going to my like mission giver, and I just like looked at the computer for like 45 minutes because there's so much shit on the computer.
Yeah. And then just.
and then it crashed like a couple minutes later. I was like, fuck this. And I spent 40 minutes in the character creator, so yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I will say it. So like, I've been playing it a lot, and it's got like a ton of just quality of life. Like, what are they thinking? So like one that comes to mind, right, on PC. So, most games you can remap the keys, right? That's just a normal PC game thing, right?
Yeah.
You can't remap your inventory.
But you can remap other stuff?
like some stuff, yeah. But you can't remap interact key.
Yeah, that's
like,
weird.
Huh.
Like, okay, so it's stuck on F or whatever the hell. Inventory is all the way on I, so I have to like look at my keyboard, like hit I, and then it's like, why can't I just
so
make
weird.
a tab? It's so weird.
That's odd. Like, it seems like they would just like, I mean, so obviously I don't know that much about how they implemented everything or anything about how they implemented anything, but like, if some stuff is mappable, it seems like that would all kind of funnel into, you know, one part of the logic around the game, you know, like, it seems like
an API, and then
it just seems like silly. Like, it's clearly something is wired up correctly, and then they probably shortcutted and did not like connect it through this, you know, the same channels, so to speak. I'm like talking about this like in a very, very dumb guy way, but like,
no, yeah, for sure.
I know interfaces, I know APIs, dude. I know that stuff.
But it's like if CD Projekt Red is a PC developer, right? Like, Witcher 1, 2, 3. It's like those games had remappable keys, right? So like, why wouldn't it? Just makes no sense.
Because they don't like you, Kody.
They don't like gamers.
They were in
turns out.
Sweden, right? Polish. Sorry, they're Polish. They're in Poland. I was gonna have a joke about eating Swedish meatballs because that's the only food I know about from Sweden.
IKEA.
Not that that's actually Swedish. So now I have no joke. They were eating Polish meatballs and laughing to themselves about your dismay.
This man.
Maybe after The Witcher 3, the team just like exploded and upper management didn't know how to handle it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
COVID
I mean, I think
definitely didn't help.
There's way more devs, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
COVID definitely
maybe
didn't
just
help.
like
And
the people in charge probably just weren't ready for it, or they just didn't know how to communicate to everyone.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I'm trying to think. You know, it just goes back to like you can't launch a game again. You don't get a second try. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're
Just
No Man's
stinks.
Sky or Final Fantasy 14.
That's true. Well, so Final Fantasy 14, it delisted itself, right? That's another good example. And they just like, I guess you probably could have played like the old one, but they restarted and they made like a whole new.
Right, yeah,
game from
it's a
scratch
new
pretty
game,
much, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they killed
Yeah.
the old game.
Yeah.
Like, there was like an
Right.
in-world event where a meteor destroyed that world.
Right.
And then when you log back in, you
That's
were playing
pretty
the
smart.
new game, which is fucking
Yeah.
awesome. That is like so
That's
sick.
sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't even play Final Fantasy 14, but that is sick.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I don't know, it's like No Man's Sky as an example, they you know, turn off all the lights and they just nose to the grindstone, and they had a new update in a year and it made the game a whole lot better, right? And they're like, you know, we're sorry, but we're trying to make it better with
Do you
3
think the
updates.
fact that CD Projekt Red has like fallen on their sword so hard has made the situation worse? Like, I almost feel like No Man's Sky did not do this thing that they're doing where they're like, we'll refund you. Like, it's
right.
like, that wasn't a thing, I don't think, at least.
Cuz it's like they
they're-
knew the mistake
Right.
before it happened.
Yeah. Right. And
Right.
like, but people are like seeing like, see, this is how fucking broken it is. The developers are giving like, and I'm not trying to say, like, because it would be disingenuous, I think, to like try to like pass off what happened, because it's like, I think it's worse than No Man's Sky. At least No Man's Sky worked on everything.
Yeah, you're right.
It was not what we had been promised, but it worked.
Right.
You know, I think this whole falling on their sword thing, like, it gives people something to point at and say, like, that is proof that it actually sucks. And that is, I think, hurt them a lot. So,
Because
I don't
CD Projekt Red as a company, they've been touted as being like, you know, player focused, and we don't crunch our devs because that's
do they?
bad.
Have they ever
but
said
then
that?
they
Because
do.
they crunch the shit
No,
out of
because-
their devs.
Yeah, they promised, like, they're like, oh, we're not gonna need to crunch to get the game out, but then they're like, all right, we're delaying the game, mandatory crunch. We're sorry, it's just to make it perfect. And it's like, huh? That's probably a red flag. That,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely a red flag. But when they've said they don't crunch, but then they do, and they've been crunching behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and
Didn't they say it was like in the one of the like the second trailer they released they listed was like when it's ready. And
oh right,
yeah, like coming
right.
when it's ready. It's like it came
It's like,
before it was ready.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I want you think the No Man's Sky team? Do you think they crunched, or do you think that's why it came out the way it did? Because they didn't crunch.
That's actually a really
that's
good
a good question. I mean,
if
you could
they
either
did
make
crunch, it wasn't. No, I was gonna say like if they did crunch, it probably wasn't like gun to the head mandatory. It was probably like, oh shit, like really messed up. Like, let's do it because we believe in the game and we believe it could be better.
Maybe.
Right?
Who's to say?
Maybe.
I do know that it's a much smaller team of people probably willing to, or not willing, but able to have a greater gain off their hard work, right? Like if an indie dev crunches, and I'm not pro crunch at all, but I'm just saying like if an indie or a smaller team crunches, and if they make money as a developer off the sales of the game, that's a pretty goddamn good incentive to crunch. Whereas like some of these bigger games,
they don't please the shareholders, right?
Yeah, they don't like stand to profit as much off their own labor. So,
for sure.
I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep our eye on the story.
Yeah. 2 weeks. I hope to God in 2 weeks we are just like not talking about it anymore, but I'm sure we will be.
Yeah.
There'll be some new chapter in the story of this sad launch.
They're paying you to
play
buy the game. To play the game.
They'll release new update, Cyberpunk 3077.
Right. So yeah, that's our
news segment
section, the news. That's it for the news this time.
All right, we're going to take a quick break then, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Casper, so sorry to hear about that ointment situation, but I'm sure everything's going to be fine with your butt. So we are doing Casper's Mega Ultimate question of the day next. So Casper, lay it on us, my man.
So my final question of the year is going to be, what is your gamers' New Year's resolution for next
only.
year?
That's a good question. Only. That's a good question.
You want to go first, Kody?
Yeah, I got one. So I've been putting this off, guys, ever since it came out. Right, my Animal Crossing town, my island just looks like shit. It looks like dog shit.
Yeah, I've been. It's a sad place.
Oh my god, yeah, and it's just like I want to make it cool, but I don't want to sit down and make it cool, if that makes sense. So where I'm at right now, Evan knows, Casper, you probably know, you can like move your buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem with this one is it just takes like you try to move it and then it takes like a day and then it'll finally be moved.
Okay.
So I have to move like every building on my island, and that just makes me want to throw up.
Yeah,
it's expensive. I'm trying to get everything like symmetrical. Yeah. And then you have to plant a bunch of flowers. It's a whole thing. But I don't know. Do you feel that way, Evan, where it's just like Animal Crossing just like it's fun, but sometimes it just feels like a chore, and like that's kind of the point.
I think it's only if you are going for like that level of engagement with the game, because like my fiance feels like very similarly to you. Like she played it a lot, and then she was like seeing people's crazy builds on like Twitter and being like, I'll never have something as cool as this, and like it felt like and then she would like half do new ideas and then be like, oh, I don't know, and like it was like a whole thing. Whereas my village, fully organic, dude. Everything is where I placed it originally. I got roads running all over willy-nilly and stuff, and she always comes to my village and she's like, it's so cute, like how did you think to put a house here? I'm like, well, there wasn't a house here, so you see I put a house here and then I built a road to this house.
Right,
and that forms like this, and it looks like this. I don't know,
my thing. So like, okay, so just to picture it, so my museum, right, I try to do like this cool like waterfall thing. You're going up to the museum and it's super cool, but then everything's off by like one block. And like one, and I'm just like, so like I try to take a cool picture and like everything's shifted over one, and I'm like, so I have to move everything. I have to change everything. It's like not.
So what's the resolution? I feel like I missed that. You're gonna move the houses?
I'm just gonna sit down and just like fix my island. at least do like the foundation of it, right? And then like you're saying, it could be more organic as I play. I'll plant a couple trees, a couple flowers there, but I need like everything to be in the right spot at least to start. I don't want to do that anymore. It makes me it honestly makes me not want to play, because like I just walk around my town and I'm just like, this looks stupid.
I suck. I'm a terrible island representative.
Yeah.
I gave all my people
yards.
yards. I just gotta say, I think that is important.
Yeah, and then like make it more like, oh, he would probably have this in his yard.
Yeah, a ton of my friends like just like built like a little like a 3x3 grid of buildings, and they're like, it's a city, it's the downtown, and then they have like this huge island they don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
Everybody lives all over my island. They all have yards. The only thing that's interesting about my island is that I've created income inequality, and there is a mansion in the upper left corner that has like way more yard, and it has its own fountain and stuff. And otherwise, everything else is just like just houses and yards that run all over the place.
Yeah. It stinks because like I have this vision of what I want it to be. And it's just like getting from A to B. Yeah, like getting from A to B, the master plan is just like,
it's a chore.
Just sitting down and doing it. I just don't want to do it. Real quick, so I do have another gamer New Year's resolution.
In bed last night, he was like, what are my gamer New Year's resolutions? For gamers only.
I want to beat 3 RPGs. And like specifically, I want to beat Red Dead 2 because I haven't beat it. I got really far and just like, I was asking Casper about this.
I would not call that, but whatever.
It's like a Western, like a really light Western RPG.
I would say, what are the RPG elements other than that you play as a guy? Like, what about it?
But isn't that what RPG means?
No, right. But like, then every video game is an RPG.
Yeah,
that's true.
Point.
So it doesn't have like leveling up. It doesn't have like gear, really, does it?
Does Red Dead not have leveling up?
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't play 2. I played 1. I don't remember leveling up in it. I remember getting better gear, I guess.
Yeah, getting better gear is just a hallmark of it. Okay. I want to beat Fallen Order because I haven't played that yet.
That's more aligned with an RPG because you like level up and you spec into things. And yeah, I would say that's got. Anyway. And
then I want to beat, I guess beating Cyberpunk would be cool.
Nice.
Because that's just like such a huge, and I never beat Witcher 3. I got far in it and I was just like, man, there's too much. I just feel tired. Yeah. Like I'm in like the 3rd area and I'm just tired. I just don't want to play anymore. But yeah, so those are mine. What do you got, Casper?
Okay. So pretty much I want to not beat all my games, but I want to make it so that I beat more of the games in my Steam library than I have,
Oh yeah, get that like balance. Good fucking luck.
Your Steam library. Yeah, right.
I know. Like the part of it too is, other than like the games for this podcast, is to try and buy less games.
Oh, I see.
For
so
next year. Yeah, that way I'm not just keep on buying them and then I don't have time to play them.
Right.
It's so hard though when there's like a Steam sale and you can get like 10 games for $5 or something.
Yeah, right.
Hard to say no.
I used to do those back when they had like flash sales and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it's like, oh, this deal's only going to go for 8 hours and it's the lowest price it's going to be for the entire like duration of the sale.
Mm-hmm.
So like kind of incentivizes you to, like, you have to buy it now if you want the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to buy the packs a lot too. So like, oh, Lara Croft, like the old Tomb Raider games.
You say Lara Croft?
A big pack. Oh, you supposed to say Lara? Is that how you?
Yeah, dude, she's British. No British people are named Laura. They're all named Lara.
That's true. But it's like a pack of like 8 old Tomb Raider games that I'm never gonna buy, but it's like, oh, $7. I'm like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
Epic Game Store, they're not helping with it. With the free game every week.
Yeah, especially now during like the winter sale.
Yeah, and they got the whole thing this year where it's a free game every day for 15 days.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
What are they even thinking?
Yeah, they just have so much money. I guess they just don't even. Is that it, Casper? So you're just gonna try to play more games than you buy?
That's
yeah,
pretty good.
That's a good
I
one.
don't like wasting money, but I feel like I have so many games I'll never buy or play.
Yeah.
So it's just
Right.
like money gone.
I feel like a much more reasonable goal would be to just at least play more games.
Yeah,
Because
just
like
try 'em.
I would really, I hate to look at my library and like sort by played and unplayed, and that be like a bad ratio. Like that bums me
Right.
out,
Yeah.
and is the
Yeah,
case for me.
Mm.
But I was
sure I
always all
bought a ton
about
of
the humble
games.
bundles and like spending $1
Yeah.
to get 20
Yeah.
games.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some games I have that I just probably won't even like. So
Yeah.
I just skip those.
Yeah, that's true.
So what about you?
All
Evan?
right, I'll go. I want to play I want to at least try all the PS2 games I own. So this year I started collecting PS2 games from my youth,
Oh, nice.
because that was my first game console, and I already had a lot of N64 stuff, even though that was not my first game console. It was my brother's game console, which I was not allowed to play, but I still played sometimes. Anyway, so I've pretty much had finished up my N64 collection of stuff like that I really wanted. So this year I just got a ton. I'm looking at the shelf right now.
Oh,
it's
nice, dude.
it's like 25 games.
Nice. Yeah.
So I got a lot of them I've already played, but I would like, or most of them I've already played. Some were ones that had come out when I was a kid that I always thought I would like. Like, I really liked Legacy of Kain Defiance, and the game that came before it was Legacy
I
of
see,
Kain Soul
yeah.
Reaver 2, because Soul Reaver
Yeah,
1 was
oh.
for PS1. So I always
you
wanted
ever
to play
play
this. So
Did you ever play Rogue Galaxy for PlayStation 2?
Rogue Galaxy? No.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's made by Level 5, the
Oh,
same people who did Dark
Yeah,
Cloud.
yeah, yeah.
They reused a lot of the assets, like the menu and like the whole
Oh, yeah.
weapon creation type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But it's completely different.
Huh.
It's just a space game. You go from like planet to planet trying to
That's cool.
solve some kind of like great mystery. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I got Dark Cloud too.
I love
right
Dark
here.
Cloud too. I love Dark Cloud.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
It's a cool game. You should look
Yeah,
it up.
yeah. That's definitely something I would
Yeah.
want to check out.
So,
But I got the Holy Grail.
So,
I got the Holy Grail of the collection. Got the Bull Moose sticker still on it.
Oh,
Spider-Man
nice.
2,
That's a classic.
baby.
Oh man,
Nice.
I used to have that. I don't have it anymore though.
I
yeah, I don't know where
It's
my
sick.
PS2 games were.
Like recently, I played.
Yeah.
What's your setup like for PS2? Like, do you have? You
I have a
must have an
CRT
old-
because I
Yeah.
used to play competitive Super Smash Brothers Melee for the Nintendo
Yep.
GameCube.
There you go.
So yeah, I have a CRT and stuff, and that I like have my Wii, which plays GameCube games. My PS2, and then I have an N64 and a Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis was like a gift from some people when I was a kid. They were like moving out from a house, like a few houses down the street. And they were like, "We heard your boys like video games," so they just gave it to my dad, and so now it's
Wow.
mine. It's kind of cool. It came with like Sonic the Hedgehog and like just Road Rash, I think, maybe Road Rage. I don't know, some kind of motorcycle racing game. Couple other cool ones. I don't know. There's the Jurassic Park game, which is actually pretty fun.
Oh, I think I had or actually it was my mom's, but is the Sega Genesis, is that the purple? That's not the purple one. What's the
Purple one.
no,
Like
the
a purple
portable-
controller?
Oh, portable.
No,
Sorry, they're
portable.
saying purple.
Oh.
I'm like,
That's isn't that the Game
yeah,
Gear?
the Sega Game Gear.
Okay, she had the Game Gear and it had like a Jurassic Park game. I don't know if it's the same one or
Yeah, I
if
don't
it's
know. I don't know
different.
what the game. I didn't have a Game Gear, and literally know nothing about it. But maybe.
But yeah, if it's the same, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know you were you had such a large collection of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just like
But like it's more personal. It's not like you're going for like
yeah.
every NES game. It's like stuff that I actually care about.
Yeah, it's all stuff that I could see
so-
myself like revisiting and stuff like. And I do like mess around on it. Like before the PS5 came out, I was like pretty dry for games. So like I played Liz and I played a bunch of Guitar Hero 3, which is awesome.
Nice,
That was
dude.
super fun. She is so
Guitar
good
Hero
at
3
it.
is
cool.
She is so good.
What do you think? What in your opinion is the best Guitar Hero?
So here's my like sinful admittance is that I have only played 3 and 5.
3 and 5. Okay.
Because 3, I had 3 on the PS2. Even though I already had a 360 for Christmas, my mom got me the PS2 version because it was cheaper, and she thought it doesn't make difference. I was like so bent out of shape. I was like, Mom, I want the HD graphics, and she was like, well, Santa does not care. And then I when I got a PS3, I wanted a Guitar Hero, like the newer Guitar Hero game that had come out.
And 5 or whatever.
5,
yeah.
And so those are the only 2 I've played. But 3 I like better than 5.
3's got a great track list, that's for sure.
3 has such a good track list, dude. It's so good. Banger from start to finish.
Oh, that would have been a good topic too, but just like your favorite like Christmas memories. So like I remember one time I got just a big box of like just Wii stuff. It was the year the Wii came out. And so I got Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii.
Wow.
I was just going ham, dude.
Bougie
but that one
ass
sucked 'cause
kid.
you had to put the
Getting the
controller.
Wii when
You
it
had to put the
came out.
controller. Right, dude. It came from like Hawaii. My parents got cheated out of their money. I don't know why.
It's because they love you so much, Kody.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas. So what can you say?
The year the Wii came out, my mom got me a like Wiimote with the promise that someday I would have a Wii.
That's actually really sweet.
Yeah.
That's touching.
And then she never
that's
got
great.
it. Like my brother and I went 50-50 on a Wii in 8th grade that we bought from like just a guy off Craigslist. Came with a bunch of games though. It was like he gave us a good deal. It was like $150 for like the Wii and like 20 games.
That's actually a great deal.
That was a stupidly good deal. I don't know. I think the dude was moving or something and just didn't want it. But
yeah.
Yeah. So that's my main thing is to play some of my PS2 library.
Yeah, that's cool. We could definitely we figure out how some emulation works and try some old.
Yeah, I would love to do some retro
games.
stuff
That'd
for
be
this.
Cool. Yeah,
that would be fun.
That's all I got though. I don't know. Gamer New Year's resolutions, like I didn't prep for this question, so
right.
I hope I buy more PS5 games. I hope that they exist and I buy them.
Right.
I hope
that'd be
that
cool. I want to use my
beaten
Switch
by
more.
a teenager at something and they call me something terrible in the chat.
Name.
Yeah. It hurt my feelings really, really badly.
I would like to play my Switch more because I was thinking about it, and I kind of use my Switch whenever a game comes out, and then I go hard on the game, and then I just like don't play the Switch. Like Animal Crossing, and it's like I play Animal Crossing for 2 months, but then it's like okay, now I play like once every week or something. Hades comes out, and then.
This goes against my first one, but I actually want to get more games for the Switch because I don't really have many.
Okay. Yeah. No, the Switch is great. I freaking love the Switch.
Yeah, the stuff that runs well on the Switch, I'm always like, how is this running on like Luigi's Mansion 3? I was like, damn, this looks pretty good, guys. Well, Nintendo.
I want to beat Luigi's Mansion. Forget everything I said before we move on. I want to beat Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, yeah. You probably should,
I want to get Luigi's Mansion.
It's great. Because I love the first and second one. But I just didn't beat the third one. I played like 2 hours and I just stopped.
Yeah. I was playing it with my brother, and then he went back to school, and I was like, oh, I'll play it when he comes back. And that was like a year and a half ago. And he's been back many times between now and then.
Yep.
He went out for milk, and he never came back. Yeah, Casper, what's your let's make sure this segment is nice and long. Casper, what's your favorite game on your Switch that you actually have?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What's a game you like?
I liked what is it even called? Astral Chain. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. I didn't play it, but I want to. I heard good and bad things about it.
It gets repetitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But the story is kind of cool.
Did you play Nier Automata?
I'm kind of playing it now. Like I beat the first
playthrough.
First playthrough. I'm on the second playthrough.
Can you believe that game is as popular as it is, considering the fact that it asks you to beat the game 3 times to actually beat the game? Like, that's insane.
It's pretty funny. Like I guess you do get different stories, But a lot of the stories
So
is like the same.
I was gonna say like the first
Right.
two are like pretty samey, but the third one at least
Yeah.
is the third playthrough is pretty different. So
I'm imagining the third one's probably with the other girl, right? That
spoilers.
isn't introduced
Yes.
in the first two.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's a good game. That was like my favorite game of the year. It came out. I got it for Christmas that year, or I bought it for myself
Was that
for
2 years
Christmas.
ago?
I love the
nice.
music.
Oh my god, yeah, so excited. That's
Yeah.
that's something I'm looking forward to next year. Is like the Nier Replicant, the remake of the first game, because I didn't play the first
Yeah.
game. I had heard of it,
Me either.
and I just thought like I was like 12, and I just thought it was like too weird and like too Japanese for me at that time. Like I was just like, it's you know, as much as I loved anime at the time and stuff like there's only so much of the kind of Japanese stuff that I could take. I don't know. I just was like, this might not be for me. But now
All
that I'm a
Japanesed
full
out.
blown weeb and I love anything that comes out of Japan, like the people that have feelings in Japan. Let's keep that joke going
have
every
feelings.
episode.
Hey, they have you can't say they don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think I don't want to play it now. All right, fellas.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any final resolutions, or do we call this segment done?
I think it's good.
All right,
I think it's all
gentlemen.
wrapped up.
All right, well then we're going to take a short break again, and we'll be back to talk about Firewatch. Hello, everybody. Welcome back again for the third and final segment of today's episode. We are talking about Firewatch. Firewatch is the wonderful walking simulator by CampoSanto, released in 2016 for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, which eventually, I believe, received a Switch port, but I think a couple years later.
Yeah, it says here December 2018. Oh man, I should have played it on Switch.
It runs okay on Switch. I didn't play it on
Okay.
Switch, but Liz did, and it runs okay.
Okay.
So yeah, the game is like a walking sim in the vein of like Gone Home and other stuff like that. It's a lot of walking, talking, and experiencing a narrative.
Yeah.
This one is set in like the 80s, like the end of the 80s.
80.
Yeah.
Yep, 88.
And so you play as a guy who has a wife who is suffering from an illness, and you perhaps humanly, perhaps selfishly, decide to take a job as a fire watchman, which is basically a person who lives deep in the... This is a real thing, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew this. This is like a real job you can get. You hang out in the woods in like these lookout towers, and you watch for fires. And
Yep.
that plays basically no part in the story, really. The actual occupation,
true.
like it does eventually a little bit, but he could have been doing anything out in the woods, like, and the story still
Right.
probably would have worked. But yeah, so it's a super duper good game, I'll say that. But I would love to get your guys' high level thoughts on, did you like the game, did you not like it, and just super high level. So how about Kody? You go first.
Yeah, so I really like Firewatch. This was my second playthrough. I will say the second playthrough obviously doesn't have the same impact on you as the first playthrough. When I first played it, I was on PS4, and like, I think it was like whatever year it came out, 2016, I guess, and people were saying like, oh, this is a must-play game. You got to play it. And I was I was in college, I guess. And I just remember one night, home alone, it must have been, I don't know, like winter break or something, and just like playing it all in one sitting, and just, I don't know if a game has it. So I one feeling I can pinpoint is just like paranoia.
Yeah.
Not a lot of games can make me feel like, what the hell is happening? So that's something that has always stuck with me. Obviously the story of Hank, his name's Hank, right?
Henry.
Is it Hank or Henry?
It's Henry.
I
He
thought it
doesn't
was-
like being
She-
called... Well, no, you
it's
can decide
Henry,
early
yeah.
in the game
And-
if he likes or doesn't like to be called Hank.
Right, and Delilah calls him Hank is like a joke.
And then she's like, do you like it? And I think depending on the dialogue option, it will change what he gets called.
Yeah, that's also something like after we in our discussion we could talk about like how the choices. I would like to hear some of the choices you guys have made to see how it kind of impacts. I think
Sure.
Without meaning to, I think in my second playthrough I probably made some of the same choices, unless the choices don't change as much as I thought they do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll circle back on that because I have some thoughts.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Like Firewatch is probably the top 20 of my favorite games, I guess, just as far as like emotional impact.
Yeah.
I don't know why it hit me because I haven't had a wife that has, had that
Suffered from any kind of
onset
illness.
dementia, right? And I was like trying to think like, why does this game, I don't know, like resonate with me? And I'm still trying to figure it out, I guess. But yeah, like Firewatch a lot.
Casper, what's good?
Yeah. So, as like a disclaimer, I don't like walking simulators, right?
Okay.
I almost rather just watch a movie
Sure.
than just kind of look around and walk. I know it's a little different, but
I see what you're saying, though. Yeah, so I don't think they have to be everybody's cup of tea.
But overall, out of all the walking simulators I have played, this one was probably my favorite.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah.
And if you like walking simulators, I think you'd probably like this one. But it I don't know. It just had a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
The only thing I really didn't like about it was the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like making those, or like the setup to the game where you're making those early decisions.
Yeah, like the very early. Like I know I had to kind of explain the background of the main character, but I just didn't really like how it went about it, where it's just like a wall of text.
Okay, so
and then you just pick.
let's dive in because I have thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay.
This seems like a good as place as
actually,
any to dive in. So I actually think that that's cool because I was considering. This is also the second time I've played this game, and it's not something I thought about the first time, but how do you do a flashback in a video game, right? Like in a film, there's a lot of like techniques to show that something is like a flashback, or sometimes they intentionally don't, right? But you wouldn't want to do that to someone who's interacting like on the level that you interact with a game, because you don't want to confuse. I don't think it's a good idea to confuse people in those early stages. So I think the decision to use a wall of text was actually a very deliberate one, because it makes it's if you call it a style of game, let's say that reading text is a style of game, they've taken two disparate styles of game and intercut them to show you one is present and one is past. And I think that is so fucking cool and smart.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So I think the very beginning of the game where it's setting up like how you met Delilah, the decision, or not Delilah, sorry, his wife. Forgot the name. Anyone got the name?
No, you dick.
I forgot the name.
You don't know your wife's name. I'm forgetting. No, like Joanne.
Maybe I have early on said.
Do they
Joanne.
They
say
do.
her name?
They do. I just forget.
Okay.
They must have, because Delilah says it a couple times in the game. Anyway, so I think you're right, Evan. Where it's kind of like that's like those are like memories, right? So like they're very just spacey, like the use of color, the use of music and stuff. It's kind of just like memories that have been like brought up because of the events. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I interpreted it. Was just these aren't happening now. You're not making those decisions. Then a time jump. It's maybe you took the job and then you have those memories, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I looked at it. But.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I just think it's like, imagine if you were like how jarring it would be if you were playing those, like it's the same layout, right? Like it's like text, then like walk into your car, and then text, then walking through the woods or whatever. Like imagine if the text parts were also walking and you had to like do both and cut back and forth. Like I think that would confuse the ever-loving shit out of a player. I
think what I would have liked more, I don't know if this would have been better, it could have been worse, but I think I would have liked it more where like it just kind of starts you off with the job, and then you find out as you play the game why the main character is there.
Yeah.
And
I think I don't know if that would have been better or not, but
that's an idea, and I guarantee you they probably thought about that.
Probably.
You know what I mean? But I think because you get that early part, that allows you to have emotions, I guess, like later on, like
the Japanese.
I'm thinking specifically like the Japanese.
I could see that because it forces you to pick a lot of hard choices.
Yes.
Yeah. Specifically, I'm thinking of, like you possibly feel guilty whenever Delilah's like saying, like, oh, I wish you were here right now. Like that night, fairly early on.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you didn't know that you're out here because you're your wife yet, it wouldn't hit you with guilt right just then. You know what I mean?
I think it colors the decisions you make early on, whereas like exactly what Kody's saying, if you didn't know, you might make decisions which you would then go on to regret knowing the full context of like Henry's character. So I think that's part of it. Just to your point about feeling like a dick, I hate in that part at the beginning, I love that I hate it, but I hate it. There's when your wife gets the job at the University of Colorado.
And you have to,
it's some they live in Boulder. It's some other.
She has to try. She has to fly. She has to fly,
Yale.
Right?
It might be Yale.
Yeah. So she has to make a decision to either, live there and then fly back every week
or just tell her to give
hell.
up on her dreams.
Yeah,
and I think
it was two bad
decisions. It's two shitty decisions. And I like that they end the question, like the part before the choice is just like, you absolutely do not want to move. And I think it puts you in this interesting headspace in a game where like, I'm not trying to be myself projected onto this character. I'm being Henry, which that just like sets the tone for the rest of the game, that like I am this guy and I am experiencing his decisions, and sure, I make some of those decisions, and I think it plays also into the like the narrative structure of the whole thing. Like a lot of these not walking sims aren't like this, but like dialogue tree games like this, you would expect to have these like crazy like branching paths, but this game not to jump the gun, but it doesn't, the ending is the same matter what. It's got some light. It's basically like if you could imagine, like a lot of games are like a double-ended tree. Like it's like a start point and an end point and a lot of paths that like connect them.
Yeah.
But this game is much more like a linear line, and then off on the side there's a notepad, and they're just collecting notes about what you did. And at the end of the game, they're like, this is what you did. Yeah. And that's it.
Well, when you
not
said,
that that's a bad thing, it's just a different approach anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, when you said that you're not playing as yourself, you're playing as Henry.
Yeah.
Or like the character they want. That's another reason why I always think like I'd just rather watch this. Right.
Right. Because you don't want to make Henry's choices. You just want to see what he thinks. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because you color him a little bit with your own personality, but some stuff is very much him.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. So early in the game, we're talking about this intro sequence. So I think an interesting part that comes up is when you get mugged at knife point.
Oh yeah.
Right. What did you guys pick for that? Because I think the options were like scare the dude off, because like he kicks your dog first off,
dude,
which is
that's so messed up.
So like what did you guys do when he kicked your dog?
I think the first time I played the game, I beat his teeth in.
I beat his teeth in both times.
And the second time I just tried to scare him, because I was like, after playing the game the first time and feeling like getting to know Henry, I was like, maybe he is kind of the guy who would just like try to act tough. Maybe he's not as tough as he wants to appear.
I think I did the scare him off, but I can't remember.
Yeah, scaring him off. It's just like you scare your wife and yourself more than like, I think that's what it says. And then when you beat his teeth in, I think your wife is also just like super upset with you.
Yeah. It's like so that brings up another question, right? So when it came to the decision, even though it doesn't it doesn't influence the game at all, just it influences like how you think about the character of Henry. Did you guys tell your wife to did you make her commute, or did you tell her just not take the job?
I told her to commute. I cannot imagine telling my partner to ever quit their dream.
Yeah. Right. And it's like thinking about that, like which decision to make, even though I knew it had nothing to do with the game, I still thought about it.
Yeah, this time I was like, but maybe,
because I was
maybe we tell her to give up.
I was like,
I can't do it.
I think I said give up. I feel like I'm doing everything opposite. said give up. I hated both. Like I didn't want either.
No, yeah,
but
it puts you in Henry's headspace, right? It's like this is the decision he has to make as the character, and it's like
I just couldn't see commuting from Connecticut to where was it, Washington?
No, Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado. Still,
absolutely
crazy. I don't.
Because it's like in his head he thinks it's a compromise, but it's like really not.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Like, I would just move to Connecticut.
Yeah. I know, right? Like if it were me, that's what I would do. Yeah. Why is Henry even hanging around? It's not like doesn't sound like he has like friends. Like why does it matter so much that he's in fucking Colorado?
It just like leads to the like Henry's selfishness, I think, right? Where it's like that it plays part later in the game too, where you probably shouldn't be saying these things to Delilah, but you are because you're unhappy with your current situation, I guess, right? And it's like,
I mean, it's an insane scenario. Like I think it's something, people who've probably lived through these types of tragedies would understand, like on a much deeper level. And I can see the desire to like run away, but it also seems like so harsh to like leave this person behind. But that being said, like I've experienced some tragedy in my life, but not anything on that scale. And like this person doesn't even know you anymore. Like maybe it doesn't matter.
That's what I was gonna say, right? So it's like she's early onset dementia or whatever. It gets pretty severe. It progresses really fast, right? So it's like, does she even remember me? And that's probably something Henry was thinking about. It's like, I'm just going to give up because it's not getting any better. And that's early in the game too, when you're reading, you're making like, she starts to forget things. She, has panic attacks at work and she gets put on sabbatical. And it's just like, you kind of see the progression of
the disease.
And so what do you guys think about, I guess just in general, like how the story goes, or like how it's split into days, and like I guess like how the plot is structured. What do you guys think about?
Cause I think it's interesting, the choice to jump ahead, right? Like willy-nilly, like, and it does it okay because it's not necessarily a problem, like that it does that, but it's a thing that can be a problem, right? Like I think I've maybe even talked about this on the podcast, but like, have you guys played Fable 3?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So Casper will know what I'm talking about. I'll give a little description for Kody, but so in Fable 3, the last act of the game, you become king of the kingdom. And
it just jumps and you're the king? It just jumps and then you're the king?
So no. The whole game is building towards you becoming the king. First two acts, it's like you're a kid, and then you're a guy who's trying to become king, or a girl, or and then you become king, and then you have to make all these like tough decisions, and it's like there's this big impending threat. That's all I'll say. And it's like gives you a countdown timer, like on the loading screens. It's like 1,000 days until the threat arrives. And so you play like 3 days in a row, and you have like limited money in like in the kingdom's bank, right? So you're like, if you're like me, people that you've met in the game are coming to you and they want you to be a gracious king and they want you to give you the goods. This is getting so off Firewatch. I'm so sorry, but I'll try to make this a little quicker. Okay, they come and they want the good stuff. They want like the orphanage. They want like fair wages for everybody, and you have to make the tough choice. Like, do I have the money in the bank? I need to save money for this threat to save everybody. And so there's like 3 days that go in a row, dude. And then it's like the day of. And the game does not tell you that's what's going to happen. So my whole plan was like, at this pace, dude, I was like, at this pace, I have a real estate empire I built up in the second act. So I'm gonna bank on that, and I'm gonna save everybody and like give everybody what they want. And then then everybody in my kingdom died. It sucked, dude. Yeah. And when you play the game after the credits, there's nobody there. Like the NPCs literally die and go away. Like there's just nobody in any of the towns. I see. Anyway, that is an example of when it can be really bad to mislead the pacing to the player. In this game, doesn't matter so much. That had basically nothing to do with this, though, so sorry about that tangent.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's a good point, because I think the way it's broken up in this game, right? So you'll play one day, maybe like another day, and then it jumps like a week.
Yeah.
Then it jumps like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I think it kind of just fills you fill it in as the player of what you think Henry and Delilah, like how their relationship was growing.
Sure.
But nothing crazy happens on those days, so that's why they weren't shown.
Right.
So you just think like, okay, they're just probably been talking about, all this different stuff together over the course of these 2 weeks. They're getting closer as
friends.
They just talk to each other all the time on the walkie-talkies, right? So that's kind of how I filled it in. Like that's like the reason why it was broke, because the whole game takes place over a summer, right? That's like your contract as a
fire
watcher, like that's when it's up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think so, because I remember Casper was off maybe like a week ago. I was asking Casper like, what day were you on? Just to see, like, it's kind of hard to tell. It's like, oh, I'm on day 2, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Or like I'm on the 4th day, but it's actually the like 200 days in, like 4th day I've played.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird. It's the pacing is interesting. It's it's very film-like.
Kind of glad. Yeah. I like. Again, why I think I would just rather watch it, but I'm glad that they skipped
It's fair.
the days, because I would probably be really bored.
Imagine if it was actually like
76
hours. Yeah, you play through every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be terrible, probably.
Right.
But they skipped to the good parts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So like, what did you guys like? So I only played a couple hours. I didn't get to finish it this time, but I have finished it before. So I would love to get your guys' thoughts on like where your headspace, especially Casper, because this is his first time playing it. What your headspace was like in the middle, like in the second act, when there's like some like government intrigue, and like you have no idea what what Kody was talking about. Like, this game made him paranoid. Like, I want to hear what you think, Casper.
The second act, that probably starts right around. Oh, when I started getting paranoid, right when. We can say spoilers, right?
Oh, this is we say spoilers willy-nilly. This is anyone who listens to this show and thinks that it doesn't have spoilers. I don't know if we need to put that in the description, but
okay. So all the suspense, all that probably starts right as Henry gets hit in the back of the head, right? Or I guess even right before that.
I was gonna say, when you find the clipboard and you're reading it and you're like, this has stuff that we were talking about like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Or like a week ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so freaky.
That's when
as soon as that happens, it's like, oh, what is going on? And like everything in the game, like you hear a tree, like the wind blows a tree and it rustles. You look over and it's like, wait a minute, is there going to be a person there?
I know. It's like, it's almost a horror game at that point. Like, it's like unsettling.
Right. Yeah, because it's it's supposed to be this like totally boring job, right? Like you're doing it on purpose because you think it's boring, but then like you're saying, like my first playthrough, back a long time ago, I played with headphones on, and like you're saying, Casper, like they do these really interesting things with sound that just has you like looking around in the game. You're just like
protect your head.
I didn't know anything about the game. Like to now, I didn't know anything. It never got spoiled to me somehow.
Awesome.
So it was
awesome.
Complete. I didn't know what I thought I was going to be bored because I didn't know there was like a whole suspense type part of the story where like someone is stalking.
Right.
And it's interesting how like Kody was saying, he goes to get away from his problems, and then he just has a whole huge problem no one would expect to have.
It's almost like the human condition is to have problems.
Problems. That's just being human.
If it's not your sick wife, it's a government organization of some kind hunting you that turns out to not be that.
Yeah.
Which is did you guys think it was aliens?
I think when I first thought, so just because like the time period it takes place in, so like the 88 or whatever, I thought it might be, I thought it might be something like, I didn't think aliens probably, but I was like, oh, they're doing something fishy. Because when you first run into the fence and it's like this huge giant fence and you're like, you can't get over
Yeah,
it.
that was weird.
Why I still don't get is, so the guy built it all, right?
No, the fence and like all that other stuff was like a university research site. That's all it ended up being.
Oh, so it. Okay.
So this one guy was just kind of fucking around all this other perfectly normal, I guess, stuff.
Oh, so he used it.
He was using it to spy on you guys.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense because I was thinking he built all that stuff in his
So man, this guy's got a lot of time and he's like shipping stuff in. Like dudes are carrying it on their backs in like 2-day hike.
That makes
Meanwhile, he's just living in like a hut or whatever. But no, so like to your point, Casper, you do miss some things if you like don't pick up all the papers and read all the papers, right?
I tried to explore as much as I could.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I think in my second playthrough, I picked up a couple papers that I was just like, oh, didn't know that. Because like it turns out that the dude was faking the transcripts. Like he put them in the site to make you think that the people with the crazy equipment were spying on you.
Right.
And like that's kind of maybe that's a point I didn't get the first time I played it.
I didn't get that. I thought he was literally taking notes and spying on you. Just it happened to be there that he was doing it, but that would also make sense, like red herring you.
Yeah, right. And that's just like a little.
He was taking notes. Though,
yeah.
He?
I mean, he's definitely spying
for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he put it in the binder and stuff and in the site, and then like made it so you would walk into the site and discover it. I guess
he did make the beeping thing though, right? Like the radar.
I don't think so.
That's an interesting question.
Are like deer studying things.
I don't know.
Right, I don't know.
Because there was a tracking thing you could pick up, and they probably used that for the deer research thing, and then they tracked it with the device. But he was like good with tinkering with stuff. Yeah. So
I don't think he made his own tracking device though. I think a lot of the technology and stuff that you saw was related to like university research.
So he just stole it and then used it.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
That's what I think at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. This sounds super lame. This sounds like
nothing unusual about
type thing, but the game is kind of a slow burn, right?
It makes you feel like a fire watchman.
Well, it's just like like your first couple of days are just pretty unusual, and then like there's that one day when Delilah's like, oh, I see you got back in your tower, and you're like, I'm not in my tower, what? That's just like like, oh shit. But then like those moments get more and more sparse, and then they just like build up, right, where it's just along with the fire is kind of like the backdrop, I guess, to
the finale,
this whole situation. Right.
I don't know. I think it takes a while to build towards it, but there's a lot of story to be told at the same time, right? Like we spend a lot of the game learning still more about Henry and about Delilah. Yeah. And so I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that those like immediate story points, like the things that are literally happening during the events of the game, take so long to kind of pan out. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Something about Delilah. I didn't like her. I don't know why.
Oh, I love Delilah.
Not really? I kind of I could see why Henry, because like he is missing all these things from his current relationship, right? So you kind of
the human
understand
connection,
his headspace,
right? Like it's
he's like, yo, I haven't been able to like talk. Like I put my wife to bed and then I go to the bar just to like get away from because like I just want someone to talk to or whatever, right? So you kind of understand.
So his wife is missing her ability to be a voice, and he is then interacting with a voice. It's a bit of an on the nose metaphor, but
it
clearly
is
what they
that's
were
true.
going
That's
for.
true. Yeah.
So
what do you guys?
Sorry.
No. Well, I was gonna kind of pivot to like actually playing the game, like what you guys thought about that kind of aspect of it. But I don't want to skip over if you had a point about.
We can always come back. I think as far as playing the game goes, it doesn't leave much to be desired. It does, or it's like it's what it says on the box, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a lot of walking and it's a lot of talking, and from the moment to moment gameplay, that's pretty much it. And it does bum me out a little bit looking back on it, because now we have games that break that formula, and that's like really cool. Like, I don't know if you guys played What Remains of Edith Finch, but if you, I bet
that's a well-renowned. That's a pretty like, as far as the walking simulator genre goes, that's probably like right up at the top.
Yeah, that's a really good game in Casper. Even if you don't like these types of games, I would suggest you play it, because they add like other games into it, kind of. There's like I don't want to call them mini games, but they're basically mini games that I think borrow from the control scheme of the original game, so they never feel as jarring as like when you're playing a video game and you have to go hack something and you have to like totally do something different. It's usually the same kind of control scheme, it's just you're doing something different.
Is that the ship one, or am I thinking of a different?
It has a part on a ship,
that's,
and there's a ship at the top of the house.
Oh, okay.
It's a giant house that's like stacked to the sky. It's like from like
I thought maybe Casper was thinking of like Obra Dinn or something like that. Is that what's called?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Obra Dinn's cool. I don't think I would call Obra Dinn a walking sim though, just because
it's more like a puzzle.
It's a puzzle game. Yeah, it's a puzzle game where you do a lot of walking around, but it's a deduction game. Anyway, it's just the moment to moment gameplay in Firewatch just doesn't have as much variation as the later kind of games that do this, in the genre. Yeah, so I don't know. That's a bit of a bummer, but I think the story is compelling enough that it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah,
what does it feel like to walk around?
I would say the story is what pulled me along. I did like all the scenery. It was a beautiful game, so just walking around wasn't that bad.
So did you guys take a lot of photos?
What I did
dude, I feel like an idiot. I forgot about
what I did know. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, I remember taking a lot of photos in my first playthrough, but in the second playthrough, I got to like the very end of the game, and like I looked at my trophies I played on PS5, and I was like, oh, I'm really close to this trophy to fill up the camera roll, but I hadn't taken any pictures the entire second playthrough. So like I was in that guy's hut at the very end, just taking pictures of everything just to get the trophy. So then my end credits was just like
photos of
just
like,
his stupid hut.
Nothing.
And I was like, no. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that for the end credits, I didn't realize the photos would be playing, and I accidentally took a bunch of pictures of the dead kid.
Oh no, me too.
So as the credits roll, it's just like a dead kid.
Okay. So this is
what was the music that was playing? I forgot what.
Yeah.
It was like. Was it no, it wasn't happy music, but whatever the music was.
Yeah.
It didn't
fit
over
the dead child.
Yeah. Didn't fit.
No, so I was like, I played it right when it came out, and I had people in my dorm watching me play it, and the like silence that came over the room when I like found the kid, like it hurt me, right? So I was like, I have to do something. So I pulled out the camera and took a photo, and everyone in the room just started laughing, and I was like, okay, that broke the tension. And then I saw it coming back down later, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so as far as just to like actually playing the game, right? Like I remember just pulling out my like map a ton and I just get lost, and I'm like, yo, where the hell am I trying to go? But I will say, like, near the end, I'm just like, okay, this is all pretty familiar. I'm just booking it to where I gotta go.
Right.
The second time I played the game, I only played the first couple hours, but I didn't use the map as much. I was able to kind of just remember, and it's interesting, because it's like 3 or 4 years later, and I'm like able to still know like kind of the layout of the woods. Like, that really surprised me.
Yeah, because it's like it's open world, right? But it's like, okay, you can't get through this point until it's like, oh, there's bramble and bushes, you can't get to this point yet. And it's like, okay, so you but it's a Metroidvania, right? But there's like 3 places where you can cut down it, and then like, but the story leads you that way anyways.
Yeah, I did pull out the map quite a few times, but I was never lost. I just needed to steer me in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Did you guys ever just pull out the compass though? Because I was like, that seems like a weird feature.
No.
Because you'd have to be being like, I'm playing in pro mode, baby. I'm just gonna use the compass.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I did like the whole map and compass.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a map. Yeah.
When you get the beeper, the wave reader thing, when it has a compass on it, so like I was whipping that baby out and following it to my next objective, I guess. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so just to go back to the I think an interesting part of this game, subject change. Well, so I don't know if there's like a ton to say on the gameplay that we
haven't already said. Yeah,
it's just a lot of
and talking.
It's right. It's one of the earlier games, I guess, in the genre, so they hadn't really. It's meat and potatoes, I guess, right? But I was gonna ask, like, an interesting part of this game is when you're reading and you're kind of uncovering these like little subplots, right? So like there's those two dudes who are just corresponding with each other, like using letters.
Yeah.
And you would only find that if you open the
cash boxes.
The ranger boxes, yeah. And there's only like maybe 2 points where you have to open the cash box to proceed. Right. So it's just like something you can just discover by
I mean,
coming across
I would love
it.
to start talking about just like the kind of random environmental stuff that exists in this game.
Yeah, dude.
So I think that story
absolutely.
was like interesting. I don't know what the conclusion of that little arc is like.
Right. I'm trying to think like, because they're not in order, so you probably have to
like
piece them together.
Yeah.
After you find them all. But yeah.
But like, I love just the little attention to detail, or it's a great attention to detail, but for little details in this game for telling like a compelling story. Like, so did you guys find the burnt down cabin?
I actually didn't.
Okay.
I don't think I did.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. It's like towards the right part of the map, and it's on the edge of the map. Actually, it's like just past the cave that you go to on like the second day or maybe the first day. And there's a burnt down cabin, and there's like it does this really cool thing which I wanted to talk about at some point, which is how this game uses perspective to force your discovery of like fascinating things, like to compare and contrast it a bit. Like in like film, if they want you to notice something, it's like hard cut, like the what's behind the mask, right? Whereas in this, so you do a lot of this, like as you approach something from like a straight on angle, it looks like one thing, and then as you come around the side, you can kind of see how something's off. And like so in this case, it's this cabin. It just looks like it looks like a boarded up cabin, and then you open the front door, or you press the interact button to open the front door. It comes straight down, like from the top.
Yeah.
And then reveals that the entire back wall of the cabin has been burnt away, and there's like a cliff face, and there's like a hawk that flies by at the exact moment. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I really like if you talk to Delilah about it, she'll tell you this whole story about a ranger who like raised raccoons there, and the raccoons and I think you have to find the raccoon that's there too. If you don't find the raccoon that's there, it doesn't do this. So like you open
a trophy. I was like wondering why I didn't get that trophy.
A raccoon jumps out and spooks you, and then this story begins. So she tells us like one story, right, about this guy who raised raccoons, and then he pissed the raccoons off or something, and they burnt his house down, and that's the story. And then if you look around, you can see the very obvious actual problem is that there's a ton of cigarettes next to the bed. And this dude was just smoking in bed, and he set his fucking house on fire, which makes so much sense. And like a lot of this game, that's like a friggin' microcosm of this whole game. Is it's this crazy stories, but there's these like very rational explanations for what's happening. But I thought that was so cool, like that there was like the truth you could observe, and there was the lore that was like word of mouth, and how those two things are different, and how you don't even have to fucking notice that. Like that doesn't even require.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that's super interesting because my two playthroughs, I didn't even notice the house, right? So it's like kind of two layers of, like, if you don't notice the house, you're not gonna see the story, and if you don't, look at the bed, you're not gonna see the actual conclusion to the story.
I never used this, but they have like a free walk mode? Did you guys ever try that?
No, what's
it's
like a developer mode where you can just like clip around?
No.
So
it's just
it's like a special feature. It's like a bonus feature. In a lot of the same ways as like a movie, right? Where it's like there's a mode where you play through the game and you hear developer commentary.
I saw that's
while
a thing.
Play.
I almost did that for my second playthrough, but didn't.
Right below it, there's one where you can just walk around the park or walk around like the area without any objectives.
Oh, that's cool.
Just to
and I wonder if you could talk to Delilah though, because that's like half the fun is like hearing her thoughts on things.
Right.
But
I don't think you do, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I will say, so what do you guys think about just to tie it like, very quickly back to the gameplay? There were some points where so like Delilah will say something and you are timed on your response. And there were a couple times, and this isn't the game's fault at all. I would just like miss it.
Yeah.
Because like wasn't paying attention. And it's like I wanted to respond. God damn it.
You're just kicking yourself.
Miss it. Yeah. Because you want to hear more about.
There was a time I couldn't answer because I had the map and I kept hitting all the keys and I couldn't close the map fast enough.
That happens too if you're like using the rope and you're like going down a cliff and she like asks you a hard question and I'm like, wait, hold on, and I try but it doesn't work because I'm still like slowly going down.
So I got a metagame question for you guys. Did you guys find those numbered books? Like it's all by the same like author, and they're in the cash boxes, and there's 2 of them I think already in your house or in your watch station, and they're these like it's like murder at 11, like 3 dead people, like it's like a number, and they're all these mystery novels. Did you guys find those?
I saw them, but I didn't know.
I didn't notice.
So I have this like deep and like burning desire to put them all in a row on the bookshelf, because I don't know if you fucked around on the bookshelf, but you can like the interact button will like place it on the bookshelf, and so I was playing it like a couple days ago, and I was carrying this book. It was on like second day, and I've been carrying it for like the whole time.
Oh my god!
And I tried to throw it down a shale slide.
Put it in your backpack,
and it got fucking stuck on the shale slide, and then I couldn't get it.
Oh yeah.
And I have no idea. I'm sure nothing would happen, but I would so love to see all the books in a row on my bookshelf.
And see if they do something.
Probably get like an achievement.
Spell something.
Nah, I don't think so. I think I checked the achievements. It's not a thing. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. And then there's also, just to point this out for my Metal Gear fans, they had the book at one of the only books at the house, or the what is he called? His post. Yeah,
it's like tower.
His tower, yeah. So like the only book at his tower was The Patriots by Donald Anderson, which is a Metal Gear reference because the Patriots. And then Donald Anderson is a character from the first Metal Gear game, or first Metal Gear Solid. So that's a little Easter egg there. The only one I've ever found that I found in the game is that little Easter egg, for as far as referential humor goes. Not that it's that funny. I saw that was like The Patriots by Donald Anderson. That's so goddamn funny. Did you guys find the turtle? Oh, you guys didn't find the turtle? No. Oh, you poor bastards. Oh, it's so cute. I found a pet turtle when I was playing the first time.
Oh, that was my first playthrough. Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed it.
Yeah, you pick him up and you get to name him, and he lives in your tower with you, dude. Cody, would you name him? I think you only have like 3 choices.
This is my first playthrough, so this is like how.
Dude, I named him Turt Reynolds. That's like the best name ever. That was one of the options.
What are the other options? Do you remember?
No, not off the top of my head. I only remember what I named him.
Turf Reynolds. That sounds like something I did,
but yeah,
man, it's like I missed. You're talking about.
There's a lot.
Yeah, and on face value, right? The game doesn't seem like a lot, but there's a ton of shit, like you're saying, Evan, where you're just gonna miss.
It's very replayable.
So, right.
A lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah. And the only reason I didn't finish it was because of like a time constraint around Christmas and stuff. Like otherwise, I would have. I probably am, despite the fact that I have to now play another game after this. I will probably still finish Firewatch. So
yeah. So Casper brought it up earlier, but when we're talking about the graphics, like the arts, what do you guys think about like just the art style of this game? Because I don't think it's it's really pretty. Obviously, I mean, I don't think you can say that it's very distinct art style, right? Where it's not going for a super realistic look.
Right, it's very stylized.
The character designs and stuff like that.
I looked up about some of the development after I played the game, and the trees and stuff. I guess there's 25. What did I write down? Yeah, 25 different kinds of trees, and they were all placed individually over 4,000 times.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That poor intern.
the person, I guess, like in Unity, they use like Unity 4 or something for some reason.
That's what I was gonna ask, if it was Unity. It's like, it's kind of interesting where you can kind of just tell, but then Unity doesn't Unity have that function where you could just like mass place a bunch of trees?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You could even had like a tree maker, but the lady who was making it, she didn't like it, and she couldn't really.
So she just made her own trees and placed them all. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I respect if it was a choice to do that. I respect it. Yeah.
I love the art style though. I mean, it's clearly going for like that like the Rockies, like poster, like Smokey the Bear, like that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like,
it chose that as like a target, and I think it nailed it. I think sometimes technical stuff can kind of hurt that, because I want to like view it as this like beautiful vista, and the draw distances can be a little funky, especially around shadows. At least on the PS5 and the PS4. I played it on the PS4 originally. PS5 this time, same version of the game, did run a little better, because on the PS4 it had like frame rate hiccups where it would just like chug so hard. No chugging on PS5.
Yeah, true.
But the shadows, like you'll be looking at a vista and you'll see where the shadow ends, like that you should be seeing. And as you walk forward, you see that shadow just like follow you, kind of. It keeps getting further away. So I think that hurts it a little bit, because when I want to zoom out and take these photos, I feel like I'm not getting the full picture, or I'm not getting like the crisp painted look that I want.
Right. I remember. So this is sort of related, but a couple weeks ago we were talking about PS4 themes.
Yeah.
So no, you'll see where this wraps around. But when I bought the game, one of the bonuses was you get the Firewatch theme, and that is like 100%. It's 100% the best PS4 theme.
Yeah, it's a really good PS4
I can't think of it. I had that on, and it just reminds me of playing, like, reminds
crying.
Me of what I felt when I played. And like, as we're speaking right now, I've had the you guys have like wallpaper engine or whatever from Steam. Yeah. So I have like the Firewatch background, and it's been on my computer for like a year. Every time I get a new computer or like my wallpaper changes, I'm like, I gotta put the Firewatch.
That's pretty
so
cool.
I think, because like we're saying, like no game looks like this. It looks very. That's a good reference that I didn't put together. Evan, was the like Smokey the Bear, like.
Yeah, I before it came out, I remember I like found like a Polygon article like that had a lot of the art it's inspired by. Let me see if I can pull anything up.
When you look at the game, not thinking about the story, you're just looking at the environment. It's all got warm colors, so it just kind of makes you feel nice. Just
that's true. And in the summer of when the game takes place, like, it does make sense that it would be looking like that.
I wasn't listening. Sorry.
No, you good.
I just said it had warm colors.
Oh yeah,
and it makes you feel nice.
Yeah, I love the color palette.
Yeah, the night I'm thinking of specifically was when, you're talking to Delilah, and you kind of, some feelings get brought up, and you're talking about it, that sort of thing. But you're looking at the fire. It's kind of like the backdrop of you and Delilah's conversation, and the fire just being so striking and stands out, obviously, because it's night. That's really
that's a good that's like seems like a cool focal point for your vision. Like sometimes the vistas can be like grand and beautiful, but like not particularly gripping. Like, I do think like it's the up close stuff for me usually that grabs my attention. Although I thought it was cool when I realized I could see my own tower from other places on the map. Like, that was cool.
Would you guys
like, if you look at, there's some points where you can look off in the distance, and you'll say like, oh, Delilah's
it'll
tower.
say it over the thing.
You can see Delilah's tower from yours, And if she was talking to you, did you guys ever just look at her tower while she was talking?
No, I just looked around.
Yeah, I definitely did. Cause
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would. Even though like I'm not like I'm talking to her on the walkie, but it's like
you're just like looking towards.
She's got binoculars,
right,
though.
Like
she can see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can.
I wish you had binoculars in the game.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Oh, and you could like.
But then it would break the whole
to
metaphor we were talking about earlier with the wife and the lost voice and the disembodied voice.
Dude, because it's so interesting. It's like the whole game. You're trying to get, like we're saying, we're trying to get this human connection, right? And at the very end, you're like, "Yo, like Delilah, like, can you wait for me?"
Yeah.
And then she doesn't wait for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, and it's just like it goes to show we all are kind of selfish beings, right? Like Henry was maybe being pretty selfish. I don't know. I think it makes sense, you know? Like she doesn't have to. It
makes sense. No, she's, you know, maybe she didn't, you know, feel that.
True. Maybe
like,
we're projecting.
In my head, in my head, Henry felt this way about Delilah. I thought that he would be longing for that connection, so he would want to be with Delilah. But maybe she just like, nah, this summer sucks, dude. Like I'm out, and it's like.
I didn't actually pick those options with Delilah. I kept Henry separate from her.
Okay.
So I would kind of like, if stuff came up, I would kind of make it so that he talked about his wife.
Oh,
you know?
I see. That's interesting. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know what I would personally do.
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
A hard one. I mean, yeah, it's like the human. You guys even fucking imagine that situation. Like, good goddamn Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of talking to Delilah in the tower, I just noticed this on this playthrough because I didn't do this before. At one point, if you don't pick up the phone, because I was like fucking around in the tower, and she's like she's like drunk, right? And she's like, "Hey, pick up." And then at one point she goes, "Your lights are on. I know you're in there. If you turn the lights off," she like makes a comment about it, like, "Nice try." And I was like, that's some good game design right there. That's
cool.
Awesome.
That's actually interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's my last tower
real.
related attention to detail thing that I just love. I love the way Henry grabs the board above his head as he goes down the stairs and like does a little swing.
Oh yeah.
Because I would do that every time I walked under that dude. I would.
That's
who
true.
wouldn't, right? Like,
right.
But like it's those things that make him feel like so human, man. More human than human.
You're right. It's really smart. Like just seeing what like the tools that they had available, right? It's like they didn't have to do that. Like they didn't have to do that
right.
at all,
And like
right?
and they could have like so you know a lot of or not. I don't want to say a lot, but like a path they could have taken was like hyper realism, and like that's what's gonna make it seem more human. But instead they went for like the emotional and like quirk aspect of like what makes us all human, which I thought was cool.
Like actual character.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw someone just totally tangential, but a short one, I promise this time. That's very related. Is I was watching some review of Cyberpunk, and there's a scene in the game where Jackie bounces his knee super nervously during like a planning for
one of the meetings.
one of the meetings. He's just bouncing his knee, and like that's also like a similar thing. Like it's just so human. I love it. I love it. God, so people are so good at stuff.
Video games are cool.
I don't want to go too off topic. The Cyberpunk, do they do like the motion track for people?
Oh, like mocap?
I haven't seen. I mean, I'm sure that they do, just because, like they probably did for Keanu, right? Like they probably did for the main characters. I think they just do. The animations in the game are really good.
I don't know if the actors would do their own mocap though. It's probably just like a facial scan of. I know they put a lot of Pierce in the game, and then I saw it like her Instagram or her Twitter or something. Like she posted the photos. She just sent them some photos of herself, and they put her in the game.
It's like bam, 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 bam.
So I don't know. I don't know if they use mocap. Probably though, and it's probably not the same actors.
So what did you guys think of like the reveal of what happens to Brian?
Sucks,
like,
dude. Just
when you
fucking
find
sucks.
out
It all
in
makes
the
sense.
cave.
It's a bunch, and Delilah's like this too. They're all just like people who are in like so much pain and like just avoiding their problems or like finding another outlet.
Yeah, that's That's yeah.
And
for sure.
I'm
That's
currently forgetting what Delilah's deal is, but I feel like if you dig in, you can find out some stuff about Delilah that she's not so innocent. She's not so pure. Like she's not so different than Henry.
Right.
Yeah. There's so like we were talking about a little earlier when you find you don't find out, but like your job's a contract job, like you're there for the summer, and that's Delilah's like, yo, this is like my 13th summer, right? So she has a life outside of
She's
this
only
job.
there in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are some references to like her boyfriend. Love life and stuff. Yeah, her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Like there's some little tidbits that you can pick up on, but like we're saying before, I'm sure that I've missed most of it, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you get to that Brian scene, it like hits you like a ton of bricks.
It sucks, and it makes sense though. Like I think the thing that happened to me was I was like shocked, and then it like was like, oh, that it's like how it is the catalyst for the events of the game. I think that also hits you pretty quickly, which I think is cool. Like it's enough about these kind of weird. What's the dad's name? Okay, let's call him Steve. Like enough about Steve's weirdness. And like thinking there's got to be a reason he's like this, and then you find the reason, and
Ned,
and it just all clicks into place. I think in a really, really satisfying way.
Yeah, like Ned's a piece of shit. Brian was like a total nerd geek, and his dad wanted him to be like a climber dude.
Right. Well, didn't his dad though even do tech stuff with him?
Yeah,
he tried to get him into like wiring different components and shit.
Right. Yeah.
You see that when you're exploring Brian's like hideout, and you see like some schematics for different like Looney Tunes like contraptions that he's trying to make, and it's like, but yeah, like when you see that dead body and there's that like cast of light right on it, and it's like this is what happened. This is the secret that Ned was trying so hard to.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah, and then you pick up that tape as you're leaving. You're like, no, I can't go get evacuated yet. Like I have to finish this out. I have to see what the hell is going on. And Ned leaves a tape for you, and you listen to Ned's side of the story, and he's just like, I didn't see any point in like, telling anyone about my kid or whatever. And it's just like, dude, you suck.
Yeah, but everybody sucks, dude. You can look at all these characters, and I still love them. Like, we're all so deeply flawed, Kody.
No, yeah, that's true. And when you're exploring Brian's, so Casper, what did you think when you saw like Brian's
corpse?
Were you happy about it?
It's like, beep, beep, beep. Snap, snap, snap.
I did take a lot of pictures. It sucked, your stomach sinks. It's like, oh,
I know.
That's what happened. The whole mystery is just kind of solved right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like I just want you to imagine though, you're doing this, you're having fun. There are 6 other people in your 2-bedroom, or not 2, like it's 2 twin beds, and then a bunch of people in the lane between 2 twin beds, all sitting around watching you play, and then you have to like everybody sinks at once, like we all want to vomit at once. I had to take a picture of the dead body. Is basically what I'm saying. It wasn't my choice.
Because I'm trying to think too, dude. Because you only see another human twice, I think.
You see the teen girls from a distance.
Oh, that's true. Teen girls from a distance. You see like Brian's dead body, and then see the fireman.
Well, I guess you also see pulls you at the beginning. You see Ned from a distance,
like a shadow. In your tower, right? Is there a shadow?
No, Ned. He's like he's on a cliff and like shining a flashlight at you, and then Delilah makes fun of you for thinking it's weird because I thought it was weird. And I was like, she was like, it's the outdoors. She's like, people come and go as they please.
People are around.
It's anarchy.
Yeah, true. So it's like the 3 times you see people besides the fireman who evacuates you at the end are like from a distance or they're dead.
Yeah, I know.
And that was like your whole summer. You know what I mean? So
it's a crazy game.
This game might have been a lot more different if they had more time, because I was watching like a GDC talk. Well, I skimmed through a GDC talk about, and they were gonna add like more characters and like have different areas and stuff. But I guess
Interesting.
Originally they were gonna do what a lot of game developers do, which is gray boxing,
Right.
and like just use simple objects to box out an area. But they couldn't do that with this game because it just you can't get the feeling from just gray
Right.
boxes. It's just
Right.
boring walking from point A to point B. So they pretty much
Right.
had to make the entire map and all the mechanics and all that stuff. And
Oh,
by that,
before you even.
yeah, and by that time it was already 18 months, and they were supposed to do it in like 2 years. Not 18 months, 15 months. And then
Okay.
they were supposed to do it in 2 years, so they had to like.
It's 7 months to do the rest of it.
So like right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if it was a
Interesting.
bigger, grander story, I think it would lose
probably
some
wouldn't hit
impact,
the
right? Because it's
same,
a
right?
story about like
Yeah.
loneliness, and the fact that there
Yeah.
are no NPCs really plays into that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So the time
Mhm.
constraint might have helped,
Yeah.
because it's not like it's, it's a full game, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like there's anything really left out.
It is short. I mean, it is
Right.
short. I remember that was my
Yeah.
first thought
It's
of
short.
people. I was talking with my buddy Joe when I in 2016 when I finished it, and I was like, I loved it, but it is short. Like I had to concede, like for
It is short,
$15 at the time, I was like, it is a bit short, but I think it's worth
That's
the
true.
money. Like if for some people maybe that amount of time they get out of it, 'cause it takes like 6 hours, 7 hours to beat.
I think
Yeah.
I did it in 4.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much you kind
Wow,
of dick
okay.
around.
You're right.
Some people would argue that that's just not for the time to value ratio. That does not work out. But I think obviously, as
Right, but
we've kind of
the
talked about, this is
impact
such
it
a
has,
goddamn good
right.
game. It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
If it was any longer, I might have hated it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Because it respects your time. It's like, yo, we have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna
Mhm.
tell you the story in this amount of
Yeah.
time.
I think it's good that
So-
you can mainline the story in 4 hours. Like you can just hit the story
I
points.
think it definitely works. It works best in probably like 1 or 2 settings or sittings, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
All right, guys. This is getting a pretty long section. So I'm thinking,
Yeah.
do you guys have any final thoughts on the whole game before we get to our stamps? You guys want to just share any last notes?
I don't know
I
how I
think-
feel about the ending.
Mm.
We haven't really talked
Okay.
about that yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
so just as far as like
Like how the very end, like
when you're getting evacuated and like
yeah, it's kind of weird.
right.
How do you?
I
Yeah,
feel like
it's-
that bit. I feel like it's a bit rushed, but I don't
But
know.
it is you are rushing because the shit is
You're
on
trying to
fire.
evacuate.
That's true. Oh,
Right.
I looked up too. There's an alternate ending if you don't, if you just sit there at the desk and don't
Oh,
go to
and
the
you
plane.
just die.
You just
Just
die.
die.
Yeah, I think I knew that too.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's kind of messed up.
Nice.
That's an,
I think
choice.
so for me at the very end, my Henry's goal was to like meet up with Delilah. Like you have
Same.
to you want to put a face to the name, and you guys got so close over the summer. I'm just trying to get to her. And then it's just like your heart just breaks when it's like she's like, nah, I kind of just want to get out. They're coming back for you, but like maybe we can hang out at some point after, but I'm just getting out of here.
Right, you want this
And it's just
grand
like,
display,
damn.
movie type display of romance from her, and she's
Yeah.
doing something plenty reasonable. Like, no, I'm gonna save my life first, and then I hope you're okay, and we
Yeah.
can grab a beer.
Right.
so
Yeah.
mine was different. I told her to go right away,
Yeah.
Okay.
and my Henry was more like he doesn't know what he's gonna do now because he never really did anything with Delilah.
So you
Yeah.
just didn't invest a lot into that relationship.
Yeah, so now he's more focused on his wife.
Got
and
it.
I think he's gonna
Okay.
go back to her, but he still
Yeah.
kind of just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. He still,
Yeah,
and at the end
which
of
I
ours, he
think-
still doesn't know what to do because the whole Delilah thing is
Yeah.
entirely a waste of time. It's not gonna happen, bro. Sorry, King.
Yeah. And she even tells him too. She's like, maybe I can come down and visit you, for a week or something. But she's like, you should go see your
Yeah,
wife.
she's
you should
she's
go see your
very aware
wife.
of the circumstances.
Yeah.
Um,
That was my ending. Heartbreak was my
Same.
ending.
yeah, I don't.
So it kind of ends the same way then.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no matter what you pick.
It just sucks.
Yeah, for
Like it's
sure.
just like Henry is still afloat. It is like a vignette of a point in this guy's life where he doesn't know what he wants or needs to do in his life at the beginning, and he doesn't know at the end. And truly, that's how life is, right? Like it's not like
That's
one
sick,
summer will
yeah.
teach
That's
you
great.
how to redirect your life. Like it's a sum of many parts. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. What a game.
Should we give our stamps?
Yes. Yeah, I got nothing else.
All right.
The only thing I was
All
gonna
right,
say
I'm done.
that I liked was that when you find the moldy granola bar in one of the caches, the brand is Fine. It's just Fine granola, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, some of the brands like there's a thing of like bleach in your
Right.
your cap. I forgot the name off the
But
top
it
of my head,
sounds like
but it's just
Clorox.
very,
It's like a Clorox ripoff.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Who's
right.
stamping first?
Casper, stamp first, buddy.
If you like walking simulators, this is one of the best ones.
Bam. Bam, bam,
Wow.
bam, bam, bam.
Okay.
Over and over again.
Evan, let's hear it.
Turt Reynolds, baby. Stamp. Yeah. No, that's what I'm going to go with.
Mine, I just feel sad.
I just
after
feel
playing
sad. Stamp.
it. So just super sad stamp.
Not a bad thing, though. Something can make you feel sad. This shows it's powerful media.
You know. Yeah, it doesn't. It told you what it wanted to tell you, and now you got to deal with it.
Yeah, now you got to live the rest of your life knowing about Henry. And that was like
Yeah.
40 years ago. So like, what am I gonna do with this
Yeah.
now? I hope everything's okay. I hope he's like old and like is taking his grandchildren that take care of him or something.
I will say though, man, I hope CampoSanto. Like, I'm sure Half-Life Alyx is good. Sure, it's great. But like, what are they working on next?
VR,
And
probably.
Maybe.
you think so? You think they're gonna specialize in VR?
I think that's what Steam is trying to do because they're trying to sell the index.
Sad.
Just make like be VR.
Maybe they'll
devs
do like,
now.
what was their game? Valley of the
'Cause-
Gods?
Yeah.
Was the new one?
Into the Valley.
It was
Maybe
gonna
they'll
be
do
the
VR. VR
That one's
Valley of
on.
the Gods.
hiatus.
Yeah, that wouldn't
Man,
surprise me.
they got something. They got it. I don't know what it is, but they got it.
You're gonna be a star.
Let them do whatever they want, you know.
So
But
who picked this game? 'Cause I'll say what it is, but who picked it? I missed who picked it.
You
Wasn't
did.
me. I did.
oh wait,
Yeah, it was
the
just your
next
turn.
game.
I picked this game. When did I pick this
Yeah, because
game?
I picked Psycho.
did.
Oh, did I pick
You
this like
definitely
several
picked
days
this
ago?
game.
Because they reminded me what the game was today, and I was like, if you say so. I don't remember picking this at all.
Well, so mine was Bloodroots, and then Casper did Psychonauts. You did Firewatch.
I might have influenced
Oh,
it
no.
because I
Who's
said
picking the next
I
game is what I
bought-
meant.
Oh,
Okay, this
so
makes
it
way
was-
more sense
so
because
my
I'm like,
turn.
guys, I don't remember picking this next game. I can't believe you're telling me that like my alter ego
Yeah.
like picked this. Like, have you
We
ever seen
just
Batman
jumped
and
into your
Evan in the
brain,
same room
yeah.
at the same time? I sure haven't.
Next game is Into the Breach. How the hell would you describe
Rogue
this goddamn
strategy game.
Yeah, it's awesome. Developers of Faster Than Light. Pick it up on the Switch. That's
That's the
like
best
the
place
best
to
place
play
to
it,
play
yeah.
it. Absolutely. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
So if you guys want to
Makes
play
you
along
think.
with us, we'll talk about it in 2
Yes.
weeks.
Okay, and another
Yes.
announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing a movie podcast. It's untitled right now. We'll come up with something really
Yeah,
sick.
probably just be any percent movies.
Um,
Or
yeah,
something.
so I guess like keep tuned to our
Yeah,
Twitter.
we'll
where we're
announce it
gonna
on Twitter that when we start doing it. But we'll pick a movie
Yeah.
and we'll announce it. But yeah, we do this every 2 weeks because these games like take a lot of time to chew into. But I think we all feel like we could do more if we had more time. So what if we pick a medium that requires less time? Therefore, we'll do it every Sunday or whatever, however often we decide to do this one, and we will. Just do movies instead. And I think we're all movie people. I think we like movies. I took a
dude.
film class in college, so
Yeah, right. Evan's gonna show
I'll
us the
tell
way.
you about the mise en scène. That's the only word I remember from the film class. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, though. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I miss you all dearly, and I hope you can all come hang again soon. Call me when you get home. And
let me know you're safe.
I want to know that you're okay. So, and if you forget to call, you will wake up to a lot of missed calls from me. All right. You guys got any other final thoughts?
No, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Hit the like button. Show your
Can we
friends.
stop doing that?
Subscribe.
It's so cringy, dude. I love it.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Welcome to my
guys.
Let's Play.
This has been Any Percent.